Hello guys, I'm excited because we're going to be talking about compression and I've got very nice music today. This is coming actually from my favorite expansion, Higher Place from Machine, and I already programmed two compressors in a row. So this time I'm going to, tell you more about compression itself and also how to approach full band compression with no splits, and maybe we'll just touch on some splits and side chaining just a little bit, but let's hear the example I'm going to recreate in this video. So here it is. Can you hear the groove? It's totally different with compression, so it's very interesting to get to know the sound of the compression, and maybe you can come up with different stuff, different feel. So there are lots of things to do with compression, and I'm going to show it all to you today. But let's start with the dynamics module, which is the core one, and I'm going to reset it using the button in the upper right corner. And let's imagine that you're seeing this type of compression for the first time. So actually, it's a multi-band compression. There is a first band here, and you can see all bands here. The other three bands are not active now. You can activate them by doing splits here, but we're going to be talking about it later. There is a cross sign here in the lower left corner of each band, so we can reset it. So I'll stick just with the one band now, so I can explain how the compression actually works. So first things first, we've got here a limiter and a compressor. Well, limiter is just a compressor with a high ratio, and normally I would not use a limiter unless I have a specific problem, maybe a transient in a recording or some effect that was too loud. But normally I would just restrict myself to using a compressor, which actually is, the same. They could call it compressor with moderate ratio and limiter with the higher ratio. So how it works? Imagine you've got a signal that is peaking at 0. So you've got 0 decibels full scale, 0 dB FS, and you're setting the threshold at -20. So now with the ratio of 2.1, it will just compress this excessive signal by 2, so you'll get -10. So it will no longer go to 0, it will go to -10. And if you increase the ratio to 4.1, you'll get -15. So with the -20 threshold and 4:1 ratio, you're getting only 1/4 of the signal coming through, so it will be -15. And of course, if you set 10:1 ratio, then you're getting only 1/10 of the signal, so it will probably go up to -18. So the stronger the ratio, the less signal is actually getting through, the stronger the compression. So let's give it a try. So I am lowering the threshold now, and with the ratio 1:1, nothing will happen, so I will set it to 2.1 for a start. And I'm going to lower the compressor threshold here. So you have this blue bar that indicates gain reduction, and you can see the gain reduction numbers here. And you've got three modes. There is a peak mode, there is an envelope mode, and there is RMS mode, which is the slowest one. So if you only want to make the dynamics more even, just use the RMS mode and moderate settings. But if you are after some, more effective and drastic effects, just go for peak. It will compress right away. And you've got attack. The shorter the attack, the quicker the compressor reacts, and the shorter the release, the quicker the compressor will go back to its initial state. But look what might happen with the 0 times. So the kick can actually distort, especially if you turn off the auto release function here and go lower with the threshold level and higher with the ratio. You can see there is a distortion now. You can also put the gain up. So just be careful, because the compressor is actually reacting to the bass now. So with the slower times, decompression is less effective, but you won't get any distortion. So let's hear before and after. So we're losing all the low end now with such strong settings. Imagine a compressor is just like an audio engineer having his hand on the fader, and the engineer reacts when he hears or she hears a signal that is too strong. He just go and lowers the signal, and once the signal is no longer present or it's quieter, then it goes back to initial state, and then another strong signal happens, a snare or something, it hits. So the audio engineer grabs the fader and goes down with the fader, and then it slowly goes back with the fader again. So this is attack and this is release. So the faster the engineer reacts, the stronger the effect, you could say. And of course, you doesn't want to have infinite release, because with the infinite release, once the snare hits, the signal will never come back to the initial state. So it actually would act like like a fader down. Okay, so, and of course, if you imagine a kick which has like 50 hertz and it's a long wave of, I don't know, 20 milliseconds of 50 milliseconds, I don't know, I'll have to calculate that, probably about 20 milliseconds or something like that. And so 1 millisecond time of attack is actually wave compression. It's like wave shaping. So you're distorting bass. So the lower the frequency, the slower the attack and the release should be, in order to avoid distortion. So now, when you know that, we can go and see the waveform. So you just have to click on the second button in this area here, in the upper left corner. So this is our waveform, and this line will indicate the gain reduction. Let's go. So actually, this is the compression of the kick. With no compression, and the slower the attack, the more of the kick actually comes through. But if I turn on now other parts, yeah, let's go like this. You'll hear that the compressor reacts mainly to the kick because it's the loudest instrument in this session. So what you can do, you can actually go here and display the detection filter. So this is basically a sidechain. So you're sidechaining the signal that the compressor is reacting to. So you're hearing the full signal, but the compressor is hearing, for instance, high-pass signal. You can also tilt it so the compressor will react more strongly to the higher frequencies, or just use the high-pass, which is the simpler solution. And now compressor will let the kick play. So if I just solo the kick now, it will play almost untouched. And if I turn on other stuff, you'll hear that compressor is actually reacting to the frequencies higher than 300 Hertz. But still, this solution is not perfect, because compressor actually compresses all the signal. So how to make it react and compress only higher bands? We just have to split the bands. It's very easy. So one more time, what is the problem? The problem is that the compressor hears higher frequencies above 300 Hertz, and it actually reacts to those frequencies, but it compresses the whole signal, including kick and bass. So if I want to have kick and bass playing freely, all I have to do, I have to split bands and apply no compression below 300 Hz. So let's listen one more time before I do that. And now I go to the first page and I make a split at around 300 Hz, just like this. And then I reset the compressor for the bass. Let's listen now. So already the bass is much stronger. So now I have to compress higher bands. So let's go. And also I can put that higher band in solo. I think I'll go for ratio at about 2.5 to 1. The attack seems to be just right. And maybe I will just make the release longer. I will switch off the auto release now. Yeah, this sounds really, really cool now. Yeah, so now I'm going to unmute it and let's see. So now all I have to do, I have to just, do the compensation. So I could do that manually, but I can also use auto gain function that works really, really well. Yeah. But you don't have to stop there. There is a vintage comp in OZONE, and it's pretty cool. It actually emulates some vintage style compressors, and I guess it can act a bit like a VCA, a bit like an opto compressor, and you can really add more groove to your recordings just by setting it right. So I'm just going to insert it now so we can hear it in action. So I'm going to put the vintage comp right after my dynamics module and before the maximizer. So I looked through the presets, there are not too many, and I found the smooth opto works really well. So I'm going to engage it now and let's listen. Yeah, pretty cool, pretty fast. So what are you waiting for? Just go and experiment with this compressor. It's pretty cool. And for the last time, let's listen to the main part with the piano. All right, so here it goes. And actually, even without the kick and bass, it sounds pretty cool. Listen to this snare, to this clap. Very cool. Hope you liked this episode.